Today we are doing the revenue marketing group conversation, a slight pivot from the sales development group conversation that was previously scheduled, because we have multiple functionalities within the revenue marketing group, including account-based marketing, field marketing, digital marketing, marketing program management, and of course the SDR group. So we've pivoted the schedule a little bit, and we're going to be featuring different functionalities within the group in the future. Today's group conversation is going to be featuring Emily Lewis and the account-based marketing functionality. So I am going to pass it over to Emily. We've got some questions in the doc already, but I believe she wants to kick it off with just a brief recap and update.
Thanks, Evan. So as Evan said, I am Emily Lears. I am the account-based marketing manager here at GitLab. This is a relatively new department for us. We started in the beginning of November 2019. And I did just have a few shout outs I wanted to call out quickly before we get to the good part. One is just to thank you for everyone who completed our ideal customer profile survey. We ended up with 75 responses, and this helped shape our first iteration of our ideal customer profile, or ICP, that we're using to help kind of tier our accounts into our account-based marketing strategy. Secondly, it's kind of as most things with GitLab, we're rapidly evolving our strategy for this. We're constantly kind of moving and shaking, and this has involved MOPS and SOPs and PMM and FMM, SDRs. And I just wanted to say I appreciate everyone who is contributing to getting this off the ground. The account-based strategy and other tactics that we're using in demand-based and the intent data that we are gathering as well. So let me get to the doc here. And D-Fish, if you are on the call, would you like to verbalize your question?
Yes. Hi, Emily. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah. So just based on that ICP survey that we did, what was some of the firmographic data that we're able to obtain? And given that data, how will that be used, with our ABM strategy, lookalike strategy for our first iteration?
Yeah, for sure. So we looked at a lot of data, including number of employees, number of developers, IT spend, exist within the company. These survey results are actually in my slide deck. If you want to kind of take a look at that, that is the presentation I put together when we met to develop our initial ICP. One of the things that we kind of discovered is that we don't have all of the data. Developing a true ideal customer profile is very data heavy. So it told us what we know, but it told us also what we don't know. So we're going to be utilizing the data that we have and other tools that we are implementing, like demand-based, to help data append within Salesforce to help get more specific with our ICP as we go. Does that answer the question?
Yeah. And then I did dig into the ICP link as far as the issue that was created for it. Do you have anything as far as just analytics or just the hard data in that slide, or is it a different slide?
It is. Let me grab, I will drop it into the agenda doc, but I have the presentation that I used, and that has links to the Salesforce reports and the raw data from the ICP survey as well.
Okay, perfect.
I'll drop that in for you.
Thank you.
Sure. Let's see, Malcolm, would you like to verbalize your question?
I would indeed. First of all, I appreciate all the hard work you've put into this, Emily. Really excited about what's to come. Wondering if you have an idea, just ballpark number of accounts in the 3 ABM tiers across the different geos.
Yeah, so I would say globally, without looking at them, I would say probably between 100 and 110 in North America, and then probably 40 to 50 in distributed between EMEA and APAC. This will be relatively fluid. I think it's important to remember that our target list is not all encompassing of every account that matches our ICP. So it's kind of important to remember those are the 100 to 150 that we can go after right now, given the resources. But that will change. So sometimes there will be more in EMEA and APAC and less in North America, depending on our strategy and our focus at the time.
Makes sense. Thank you.
We'll skip number 3 since it is blank. I I believe this is Ginny. If you are on, do you want to verbalize?
I do. Good morning. And Emily, again, thank you so much. I know all the hard work that's going into this. So I know there are a few questions about the intent data and how exactly what our process is of collecting that information. And then I'll just go to my next question. Maybe you could run into both of them. Is I'm not really sure if everybody on the call is understanding the process of demand base and what it looks like and what we're providing them to drive traffic back to GitLab. So if you just want to touch on those, I know they're very broad subjects, just high level.
Yeah, for
Thanks.
sure. So details of collecting intent data, we kind of went all in with a tool called Demandbase. They are a B2B account-based marketing platform that gives us intent data both on our website and on offsite search as well. So they scrape what folks are searching on our site from keyword searches to pages that they are hitting. So if they hit our pricing page, if they're looking at CI/CD, etc., as well as offsite search. So if they are searching for a lot of our keywords, but they haven't found us yet, that is something that Demandbase can tell us. They can also tell us if perhaps they are, researching GitHub or one of our competitors, and this will help us kind of drive the right messaging at the right time for the accounts that we're focusing on. And then this is kind of a quick overview of Demandbase banners. So Demandbase, one of its functionalities is allows us to run digital marketing campaigns. So we can develop banner ads with custom paths that we deliver to accounts based on either a specific group of accounts or even a specific account. And it is dynamic. So as an account starts searching specific keywords, Demandbase will automatically start triggering that account to head down the right path of the content that we have put into Demandbase. So right now we have the 3 value drivers campaigns running through there. So as accounts start searching for certain keywords or hit certain pages, they will be dynamically delivered that content. Okay, scrolling down. Matt Beadle, would you like to verbalize your question?
Yeah, this is going to be awesome. And I think that firmographic data, some of the attributes and all that you guys have collected is going to be really good for not only SDRs, but Sal's. I think I see a Sal down here asking how he can get access. So are these going to be, all these attributes going to be appended to account records in Salesforce? Are you guys going to be distributing demand-based reports? How can we start to kind of like weaponize this data for sales teams? Because I think this is definitely going to help.
Yeah, great question. So Demandbase does have the ability to append data in Salesforce. We're on, I believe, 3 different forms on our website at the moment, and we're currently exploring how accurately we are updating or how often. But at 100% capacity, this will append data in Salesforce, so you all will see it in kind of your day-to-day. We won't have to run reports in Demandbase in order for you to see that data. Same thing for the intent data. That is actually, that is flowing into Demandbase at the moment as well. So at the parent account level, you can actually see the intent keywords that, that an account is searching for. One of the heavy lifts that we kind of have right now is I'm working with the field marketing team, and when we're pulling an account list with intent data, it's this big old beast of a spreadsheet that we are actually just directly pulling from Demandbase because it's an easy way to get all of it in one place. So one of my to-dos is to effectively build out reporting, so then field marketing and anybody else who would like to, so a Sal in their geo target would be able to pull that list on their own. So kind of taking the account team out of the equation from having to request that.
Cool, thank you.
Sid, would you like to verbalize your question? If you are on.
Yeah, I am on, but I was muted. Thank you. You mentioned that their Demandbase looked at like what people were searching for and like what ads and content we could provide. What's been the output of that so far?
So we've noticed that there's been a lot of, and I think I'm understanding your question, there's been a lot of key terms, so open source, DevSecOps, those have kind of been the top couple keywords that we've seen come through. So we've started delivering the value driver campaigns and kind of tiering accounts based on what the accounts are searching for and what banner ads they're searching for as well. Does that answer the question?
Yeah. And maybe if we have time, you can walk us through the survey results. I couldn't find them. I clicked on 20 different links, but I had a hard time finding them from the presentation or the issue.
Yes, I will. It'll take me a moment to find it maybe as well. But yes, I will link it for sure in this doc. If we have time, I can.
Or maybe have you or someone else of the team present it here.
Sure.
Emily, is it the presentation that we did at SKO for the group?
Yes.
I have it up, I'll link it.
Okay, thank you. Number 9, there is an MR open to fix it. The table is correct in the preview, but when we merged it, it broke. So thank you.
Yeah, tables are hard.
They are, they really are. Okay, let's see. John May, would you like to verbalize your question?
Yeah, thank you for all you're doing. We appreciate it out here. Obviously, with everyone being online, it's really, really important to get the right message out to the right places, to the right accounts. As a sale with targeted accounts, how can I help? What can we do to help you out?
I am so glad you asked that. So on Thursday of this week, I'm going to be running a sales enablement training for sales on account-based marketing and our ideal customer profile and intent data in demand-based. So this will give you a really good overview of what we've been working on, what we've implemented so far, and kind of how to interact and how to use the data as well. We have implemented intent data in Salesforce, so you can see it at the account level, with the caveat of if the domain is complete in the account, because that is how demand-based integrates with Salesforce. So you can go and kind of check that out on your accounts and see if that is flowing. I think at the moment I am kind of coming to you all with action items. So as we start tiering out the accounts, we are going to be implementing either one-to-one marketing campaigns. So we have the 6 in tier 1 that we've chosen so far. And then tier 2 will be based on intent data and verticalization, so slightly more specific messaging. And tier 3, I'm calling the account-based weighting pool. So we're waiting to kind of see what they start searching on, and then we'll be contacting the account teams to start working on marketing plans for those as well. Let's see. Chris Graham, would you like to verbalize your question?
Yeah, I think it was pretty much covered already, but just asking where how the styles get access to that demand-based data.
Yeah, so it is integrated with Salesforce at the moment. You will see a section at the account level. The caveat to that is that the demand-based information only flows if the integration can find the domain. So if you have a parent account with several child accounts, you can have specific website fields filled in, but have the parent domain on all of those accounts. And then the intent data will flow based on that as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see. Paul D, are you on the call? Would you like to verbalize?
Yeah, hi, Emily. Thanks for putting this together. It's going to be great. Just, I don't know if this was mentioned before or not, but how are the accounts being chosen? So you listed like 110 globally, and 1, I guess, chosen, and 2, have sales leaders given their input to the accounts that are being chosen.
Yes. So as with any good ideal customer profile, we are ever evolving. So we have our first iteration, and what I did is I pulled a report of accounts that exist in Salesforce today that fit that ICP. I loaded that into demand-based and looked at their intent data. So we took the highest intent accounts from those. That gave us about 300. And then we looked for the ones that kind of fit the value drivers campaign, because that was the content that we had ready to go at the moment. And sales leaders have helped to tier the tier 1 accounts. So I mentioned before that we have 6 accounts total in that tier 1, or that we have 4 of 6 chosen. But the RDs have kind of chosen the, I would say chosen the account leader as much as they chose the account, because we need to be able to have a team that really is giving us a lot of feedback during the marketing campaign for that account, just to make sure that we have a team that is going to be as successful as possible. So as we launch and as we kind of move through iterations of our ICP, those will change, and it will start being more and more data driven and less of we're going to test this out, or we're going to look at trying an expand play versus a net new logo. So we'll kind of take those I would say soft decisions out and have it be more data driven, so it's very clear what fits our ideal customer profile, and therefore what kind of qualifies, if you will, for an account-based marketing strategy.
Great, thanks. And do we have a list of those 110 accounts somewhere at this point?
Yes, I can pull. There's a Salesforce report that I will drop into the doc that has the ICP account list.
Okay.
So I can drop that in there.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see where we are. Cherry H, are you on the call?
Yes, I think Paul's question and the answers you provided address my question already. I'm just wanting to check the list you're going to bring in. We do work on a few large accounts, although we already have a fair bit of engagement with them, but there's still always opportunity to expand. So I want to understand if we're receiving direct feedback from them, they really have a strong intent to go to next level. Can we provide some feedback to you directly? Because you're based on some kind of model or algorithm to pull them up from Salesforce. I don't know if that is completely reflected there.
Yes, no, actually, this is a great question. So as we get more data driven in pulling those accounts from Salesforce based on our ICP profile, one of the things we will start looking at are feedback from those accounts. So if you have an account that is, say, in tier 3 currently, but they're starting to show a lot of engagement, you're having meetings on site, you will be able to nominate that account to move to tier 2 or to tier 1. There's an issue template in the account-based marketing project that actually outlines what you need to complete in order to do that. I tried to keep it relatively easy. And the handbook lays out what qualifications we currently have for tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. So if you do see some of those kind of signals on an account that the account-based team wouldn't be able to pull from a report, we want to know about that. This is not just, well, I will say I'm trying to be as data-driven as possible, but there are definitely things that we need to look at that are not something that we can pull in Salesforce. So that feedback is imperative as we get kind of more honed in on what our strategy will be.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I think I'm next. It's me. I know the answer to this question, but I think it's important to highlight on the call. Will we be getting net new targets not in Salesforce from demand base, i.e. being able to expand our purview that we currently have today?
Yes, so glad you asked this. Demand base has a huge wealth of additional accounts that we do not currently have in Salesforce. So one of the projects that I am working on is Operation Lookalike, and I believe I linked it in my deck. I am working to identify accounts that are showing intent, fit our ICP, anything that we think could be useful for sales, and getting that loaded into Salesforce. So Sales Ops is, God bless them, working with me to develop a template to be able to load those accounts into Salesforce and get them assigned to the territory that they should be assigned to. We're going to skip a couple. I think, Christian, you're next if you'd like to verbalize.
Sure. I'm just curious, is there a report that you could link to in Salesforce where it lists all of the intent accounts together, just so we see the high level list. And the follow on to that is, as a PM, just looking to see why people are signing up for GitLab, and specifically around my domains of design and wiki, and trying to see and just to scrape through that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think through the list. So in Salesforce, I have a list of reports that right now are mostly focused around high intent, but we could report on the demand-based fields and customize that based on certain intent keywords. So we could build out a report, or anyone could build out a report that would give you a list of the accounts that are searching based on certain keywords. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah. That would be great. And then also, like when you, like I have a design management, my theory is probably no one is asking for that yet because it's so new, like it's just starting out. But at some point, the transition to starting to see that maybe some people are moving to GitLab also for design management alongside software development. So just trying to follow that as a topic.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, one of the things that we're looking, based on the current global situation that we are in, we are creating so demand-based has different profiles that we can create. So we are creating a remote only profile, and that will allow us to pull a list of accounts in demand-based that are showing intent towards trying to move to remote or searching remote keywords. To give our remote team the ability to target those accounts with the right content. So that is definitely something that we'll be looking at expanding in demand-based, and then also the reporting on the Salesforce side for different product groups.
Nice, thank you. That would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. John Mason, would you like to verbalize your question?
Yes, and if this is too far afield, I understand. But I see in the customer profile deck that on slide 15, you talk about objections, why people don't buy from us. And one of those has to do with issue tracking systems. People want to integrate with, they only want us to integrate with their existing system rather than replace it. And I was wondering, have we determined whether there's a specific issue tracking system where that is more at issue, and is that different from those that we're successfully replacing? Do we have any data on this?
We do not yet. So I would say the second iteration of the customer survey that the 75 folks who are on my amazing list completed is that everybody answered if they would be willing to sit down for an interview with me. So as we look at iterating on our ICP in July, I will be interviewing folks that have answered those types of questions so we can start digging into that data, because it isn't something that we pulled from a report. It is something that people have seen kind of out in the field. So it's not something that's easily discoverable without me talking to the individuals. Does that make sense?
Yep, thank you.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, we have 2 minutes. Anyone else? Going once? Going twice? Okay, I will say I do have a lot of action items in the agenda doc, so I will get that done today for folks who are waiting on Salesforce reports or the data from the ICP survey, etc. That will be done by this afternoon. And thank you, everyone. This was great. It was fun.
Thank you, Emily.
Thanks, Emily.